and welcome back to the Real Estate Unlimited podcast. My name's Sierra Steinmetz.
Brian Shuby.
Carrie Steele.
Bill Jones.
And we're the Jones Home Team.
And this is episode 82, and we just realized this airs on 420, so we didn't do anything fun with it, so take that for what you will then.
But shout out to all who celebrate.
Yes, exactly. Some cool stuff here today. Sierra's going to kick us off. Is it NAR President Ron Brown, right? Kevin Brown. I don't know why. I just making names up here then. So he's got something going on. I didn't actually see that yet. Shuby's got, I think, one of my favorite things. What is it? House Bill 692, and I'll pull it up here, but State Rep Justin Puzzelli, I think is his name, has the greatest headline ever here. That this bill cuts the unnecessary crap out of Ohio septic regulations. So we'll see what that looks like. Carrie has, pink buying a house?
Yeah.
New York. Actually, I have the address, too. We're going to pull that up. So, yes,
perfect.
I did. I found it out
go.
then. And I've got the hottest and coldest housing markets of 2026 ranked, and I got some trivia questions for the crew here. So, I think Sierra's going to kick us off, right?
Cool. All right. So, the 2026 NAR president is Mr. Kevin Brown. And I just wanted to I found this article that NAR did on kind of just his history, his past. They go all the way back to when he was a child. He actually was one of the first children alongside his brother, Bill Jr., who attended an all-white school in Piedmont, California, which is insane to think that someone who's now running the National Association took such a large step in an amazing direction as a 4 or 5-year-old kid. And then moving forward, they just kind of did a whole spread on his legacy. His brother, who I just talked about, was the NAR president in 2017. So they've got a lot of family history in this industry. And he was an agent as well. I'm not sure if he still has is practicing and everything with his license, but he is the president. However,
I think they pay pretty well there, so he probably doesn't have to sell anything, would be my guess. So.
But fast forward, so I talked about him as a child and taking that huge step towards civil rights and becoming one of the first children at an all-white school, one of the first black children at an all-white school. Fast forward to 1991, they had a former client of his retold the story of there was a major firestorm in the Oakland area of California, and this storm, just backstory, this wildfire compromised 3,400 homes and killed 25 people. All that to say, while this fire is happening, a former client of his had just purchased a home within about 6 months of this, and as they were getting the alerts that a fire was happening, whatnot, the client starts heading back towards her house, and everything's roped off because EMS, everyone's trying to get everything taken care of. Kevin Brown himself was on top of her roof, hosing down the whatever was on fire because her home was starting to catch fire.
Oh my gosh.
She's on the roof hosing down so that her home was not engulfed in flames.
The house you just bought within 6
yes,
months? Oh,
yes.
my
And
Lord.
it was a first-time home buyer, everything. And he is out there. I believe he was 35 at the time. It said he's out there already on the roof. And then since she couldn't get through, he was able to get in the house, grabbed her car keys, grabbed some clothes for her laptop, and got out of the car and started driving down the road until he saw her waving her down. And he got all that out for her. Just a crazy,
Lord,
sounds like it's out of a movie.
No, that's amazing. Yeah.
Insane hero story coming
Agent
from
of the
him.
month.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Or the year.
Yes. So
It doesn't make your bad day feel so bad.
Right,
Right?
yeah,
I had to
yeah.
put a fire out and rescue all my
Right.
client's stuff. So
I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah, right.
So yeah,
I gotta open that lockbox again. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
her home ended up being okay after everything was said and done. Luckily, it was not one of the other devastations that did occur in that firestorm. So all that to say, just kind of background on the guy that is now leading the National Association of Realtors. His mantra is back to business, which is, I kind of like that story about the fire and everything. He just was like, okay, I'm going to take her car. We're going to go find her and we're going to figure this out. Like, I think that's awesome. He has major emphasis on assisting the consumer and breaking down barriers to home ownership. Like we said, he's been doing that since he was a little kid, breaking down those barriers to accessing everything that everyone should be able to receive, whether it's education, home ownership, yada yada. So all that kind of stuff. And he also is emphasizing extensive education in leveraging marketing and tech tools that are available solely through the NAR. So I think that's awesome. He's really trying to bring some traffic there and hone in on all the opportunities and options that you've got with their resources as well. So
that is cool. That's I guess we give a lot of, heat to, they take on big topics and big things. So it's easy just to, throw all the slings and arrows at them. But I mean, they do a good job, and obviously they're real people. And I think most of them were actual real estate agents.
Yeah.
And some still are and still actually participate. So
he seems like a genuine guy. I mean, you can't judge a book by its cover, but he seemed like a very genuine guy. And then I would want somebody like that doing that for me.
What fires have you put out?
Right.
I mean, we have our deal fires. We were talking about putting fires out. This dude
actually
literally putting fires out. So that's awesome.
Crazy.
And just the thinking on his feet to grab. They had said that he knew she was going on a business trip. Yeah. And so for him to think, oh, let me get her laptop and everything,
her
and then
laptop,
grab some
keys,
clothes
some
for her.
Jeez.
Like, just wild to think of. Just an everyday real estate agent thinking on their feet, literally saving their home, and then also bringing them items for them to be able to move on.
Somebody just won't even show up to a closing, let alone go there and get everything done. That's wild.
So that's awesome to know that he's kind of leading the charge on in one of the major areas of the industry. So
I've heard that back to business, him talking about that before. Then that is pretty cool. He's a good dude. So, all right, well, cool. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
We got our girl Pink.
Yeah, Pink. I don't know who likes her music. I like her. I love her earlier
her
stuff.
Stuff's
I
fun,
haven't heard like some of her newer stuff. I guess I've been kind of out of the loop, but I really enjoyed her younger year music. She has a daughter who's getting into music, and she wants to be on Broadway, and so it made sense for Pink to buy a house in New York to support her daughter's dreams. So I think that's really cool. I don't know how close this house is to Broadway. I know Bill said you have the address.
You're gonna find out where Pink's living.
One of the cool things is the house that they purchased. It was in the same family for almost 70 years.
Oh wow.
So I don't know if she used her leverage as Pink, to just be like, do you know who's trying to buy your, maybe the house wasn't even really on the market, but they put it on the market because Pink's like, I
actually pulled some notes. It was on the market since 2024, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was listed, I think, originally then.
So then Pink, it doesn't say, it says it was $21.5 million when it was listed or whatever, but it doesn't say how much she ended up getting it for regardless. Obviously, that's a totally different price point and area and market than we are in. But the fact that it was in the same family for 70 years just shows that they obviously appreciated the house more than just it being, I'm just going to live here for a few years, or I'm going to make it my own.
I'm assuming that's her daughter.
Pink and her daughter. Yep.
Oh, wow.
So
kind of looks like your living room.
It's
Shuby.
A townhouse.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Your dining room.
Townhouse with 6 stories, and they put a lot of emphasis.
6 stories. Can you imagine?
Yep.
I don't even like going up one set of stairs, let alone
well, there's
6.
probably an elevator.
Probably.
If I had to guess. They have a lot of enormous windows that are in almost every single room. So they highlight the fact that there's a lot of natural light. So even though it is a townhouse, they have these huge windows, floor to ceiling, that brings in so much natural light. On the 6th floor, there is a entertaining area, and they also have what they call it the pinnacle. That's that one right there. They show that the pinnacle.
They got the yoga mats and everything.
Yep. There's also ample space for relaxing, which obviously if you have that kind of money, you can have a private yoga instructor or hot yoga or something in your home, which is so cool. But they have a wet bar, a full bathroom, and then access to a private terrace up there as well.
What is this closet?
I don't know. Maybe they have
I think it's the primary
room. Enormous dressing room for the primary suite. Maybe they just staged it.
I mean, I'm sitting at my desk, man. I need a new white shirt.
No, that's like a dresser.
I think it's a dresser.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a dresser with an
No, I thought it was
Yeah.
a desk too
I did
because it looked like
too.
a laptop or something.
Right.
And Bill says,
I'm obviously not rich enough to have a dresser like that, so
I'm
I don't know.
sitting at my desk and I just need a new white shirt.
Yes.
That's great.
I can just envision Shuby just doing the downward dog right there.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that would be perfect.
course.
You could have bought it, Brian.
I mean,
Could
I'd
have
be
been yours.
interested to see what Pink, because this to me does not scream Pink. Like, it doesn't scream her personality. She's very, colorful and vibrant person with a lot of emotional, like, I feel like she would bring, there's a good example of Pink, like, she's a standout character. So I feel like she's going to have standout character features in her home. And
it was all the color stuff you had.
I kind of want to follow that.
The splash.
Color drenching.
Color drenching.
Yeah, this is the opposite of color drenching.
Seriously, that's been weighing on my heart, and I'm probably going to color drench my dining room. Navel, Sharon William Navel. I'm like, it's like this color, and I'm like, I'm trying so hard not to paint the trim and stuff, but like, I really want to do it.
Honestly,
I really want to do it.
But to your point, Carrie, though, when I think of Pink, I don't think of this whitewash. Just
nope.
I mean, it's cool. It's
and maybe
awesome.
it's just going to be one of her homes. I mean, obviously, she's got, I call it FU money, but like, she's got enough money that she can have houses everywhere. So she's probably got like a Malibu home and a house, on an island.
All
and blah,
the
blah,
homes.
Blah.
We'll have to look out for the Architectural Digest YouTube video of the tour of it. Hopefully, like, they end up picking her up for one, and she's like made all the walls like bright
something
red
cool.
and everything.
That would be cool. So I did a little homework on that then too. So it was originally listed for $25 million in 2024 and sold for $21.5 million is what. So it was 14% the original asking price. But again, I guess if nobody, and it's right
so
here.
even Pink didn't pay.
If you know anything about Manhattan, which I do not
price.
at all, I've been there, but it's right there. There's her house. I'll zoom in, but of course, like all these, celebrities and things like that is blurred out, so you can't really get a good look at it. So you go zooming on in there, and then it just kind of blurs out. You can't see where it was earlier.
What about the street view? The street view blurred out too.
I don't know. Let's try it. How do you get to that?
That little person in the corner.
This little guy.
Yeah. And
well, I would just get some.
It has a red dot on it. So
if you know where anything about Manhattan, I guess she's right here. So you could be there too, and we will gladly go there and sell you a house for this one. You could probably get for like $20 million. A lot cheaper than what she's paying, anyway. So,
drag him
where?
Right there, drop him in the front of the house.
Okay.
It looks like it's blocked. Yeah, at least see, like it looks like it's there
like
and
it's
there, but not
me,
like.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me do some stuff earlier.
Oh yeah,
here
Greenwich Village.
There it is. Maybe.
I don't know.
It's
Which
so
one
crazy.
is it?
Probably that tall one. There's 6 stories, right?
That's only 5, unless it's got including like a basement or something.
I want to say, I think it's.
So yeah, it looks like 6 if they include the basement or whatever that is.
All right, if I'm just driving down the street, I'm not seeing.
You're not like
$25 million price point. But again, I don't know anything about downtown New York either. So
it's crazy how they all look so similar from the outside.
Yeah, that's wild.
Bobby and I were watching this.
I was expecting Lamborghinis and stuff sitting out here. Like that's like Kia Soul.
That's like everywhere in Tiffin. We were watching this couple that moved they were originally from Indiana or Illinois. They moved to New York, and then they just purchased a schoolhouse, and they're completely redoing the schoolhouse. And it wasn't like something where like we would go in and do the schoolhouse where we're like, oh, we're going to refurbish the brick and maybe we'll, save some beams from a local farm and put They were like, we reconfigured the stairs, we turned this into a complete kitchen, we remastered the whatever. I'm like, okay, that's like some crazy money. So if they sold someplace like that and brought it back to a place like Indiana or Central Ohio, and they could do that, like the kind of money that it would take to do that kind of project, like maybe that'll be my next topic. Maybe I'll highlight that.
Just do that.
Just watching them remodel it was insane.
What did we end up with here too? So there's a Compass listing. So of course, where my mind goes, I've talked so much about it. Was it a private listing? Was it one of their Compass private listings? It was not. So should it have been? Should it have not have been? So I've heard the argument both ways. Of course, I threw it into chat and said, actually threw it into Claude and said, what would be the best way to go about this? And of course, it could not give me a definitive answer.
If Pink doesn't have a private listing, then does anybody really need a private listing?
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so of
Pink
course,
is about as one of the biggest celebrities you could possibly get. I mean, that's like
I'm thinking
A-lister celebrity.
If I'm selling it, if I'm that famous person then too, and I'm selling it, I got all my Ming vases and priceless works of art. Maybe I don't want to blast it all over there, but even still, I could find out in about 3 seconds where she lived. I don't know anything, so somebody can find out where she lived. You don't need a private listing and feel like, I bet Pink probably has some rich stuff in there. So I don't know that from a security standpoint necessarily, but the argument here then to just kind of summarize it was like, well, it could have benefited from a private listing, or maybe it couldn't have. It was exposed to the whole market. For 2 years and still sold for way less than that. So I'm just thinking it was overpriced to begin with. So if you wave this magic wand and make it a Compass private listing at $25 million, would it have sold? I think once Pink owns it, it's probably worth $25 million pretty quick. But, somebody could say that. So I don't know. Kind of cool. There it is. You know where we can't sell you a house in New York, but I tell you what, if somebody
we can do it.
If somebody suddenly said, "I want to go buy a $30 million house," I'd probably find a way to get licensed in New York pretty quick.
I'm well versed in all things Manhattan.
So we'll figure that out. So.
Oh, Greenwich! I didn't tell you I was licensed.
Yeah, I was there. I drove through there
Greenwich
one time.
Village.
So. All right, sounds good. Chub, what do you got?
Yeah, well, I'll make this kind of short and sweet, just because it's a bill that's been newly introduced, so it's not through or nothing's been finalized.
So I had to show this. Is all
hey, this is Happy 420 right here. This headline.
So Justin, help me with his name.
Pizzoli?
Pizzoli's a state rep, yeah, but his the caption here, the unnecessary crap out of Ohio septic regulations. So
because that link I sent out to you guys, one of our local counties have kind of pulled back. They were probably one of the most strict that were in our area, and they've kind of pulled back a little bit. So this new bill limits mandatory inspections. So the bill prohibits local health departments from requiring annual septic inspections, as well as inspections without probable cause or a complaint. Which I guess in our instance, most buyers do a septic inspection anyway. Right. So if they do an inspection, I guess that would give you probable cause, if the inspector said, hey, the system's not working properly or something like that. But it kind of goes back to it is more of a buyer due diligence or a lender requirement rather than, the county saying, hey, you have to have your septic system inspected before it transfers.
And then all the fees and everything else involved with that.
Yeah. And the lender could still require it, and like the loan type could still require it, even though
because I think the other part of that too is I think it gets rid of the actual O&M agreement or the price of it, so you don't have that $200 and whatever it is $75 cost.
I just paid mine not that long. I think it's $225. I don't remember what it was.
Maybe I just had one that was $175.
Okay. It was $175 for a while, but maybe.
I don't remember.
Mind you, to add to that, my buyer, so we're trying to get the seller to pay that part of it. My buyer paid for a well test, a very general well test and a septic inspection, $165 just to have that looked at.
Yeah.
And then there's another $175
it's just
plus fee.
Rack.
And the other part of that bill is preference for repair over full replacement. Mm-hmm. So, the law requires rules to favor repairing an existing septic system when feasible instead of forcing a complete replacement of the system. So, that's kind of nice. Whereas if, maybe that's just the tank is bad and not the rest of the leach field or whatever.
Because that was not the case for a while there. They were like anytime, not to name names, but one individual from our county anyways, like literally every time it go out, needs a new septic. Like if
that's
anything
wild.
Was bad with it.
Or like, especially in our area, like most of the houses have tanks, but they don't have a leach field because it just drains out to, a field tile or whatever. So maybe that kind of takes it, hey, the tank's fine. However, you need to have a leach field installed.
Right,
so, I think anything to kind of help cut down the cost of, a full replacement, obviously, as we all know.
Because that could be detrimental.
It could ruin the whole deal.
Completely
for
sabotage
both
the whole deal.
Yeah.
And
or
that was kind of
even put a seller in a position, because again, especially in our area where once they know whether a buyer buys the home or not,
disclose it.
Well, plus the seller's going to get stuck with having to fix that system regardless of what if they wind up selling or not. And not again to try to ask somebody, hey, you're no longer selling your house. However, within the next year you need to put a $25,000 septic system.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
So,
first you lost your buyer, and now also
now your house is going to be condemned within a year if you don't put a new septic system in.
Dang.
Easier replacement of existing systems. So if you're replacing a septic system without major changes, counties cannot require new design approvals, new site drawings, or new permits. So just, again, making it easier to make things happen, as far as the process goes. More flexibility on where septics can be installed. Counties cannot require or prohibit systems on slopes if properly designed or in previously disturbed soil, which I know that would be more of a one that we would see. Mm-hmm. If a soil's been disturbed or something like that, they say you can't put a septic system there. However, this law looks to change that. So
they're getting rid of a lot of the roadblocks that were in place then maybe. So this is still just nothing's been passed yet.
Correct.
Right?
Nothing's been passed. It's like I said, it's relatively newer introduced, but I think the lawmakers are going to have a hard time, I'm guessing a lot of people would be in favor of this. So
Yeah, just peeling some of that back, because I think part of that too would be, like we were talking about, they'd go out and look, and if like a part of it was bad, they're like, well, you can't just replace this one part because you're basically not grandfathered in anymore. You have to do a whole new system. So I'm glad you can actually repair.
Yeah.
I think most of it's well intended. Like we don't want, nasty water getting into our drinking water and things like that. But at some point, it just makes it financially
impossible.
Too much. Yeah, impossible.
There's
got
to be like more of a gray area that can compromise.
Gray area.
Yeah, it's like the gray water that comes out of there. Yeah. Yeah. We need a little.
Oh, we're so funny, us realtors.
Soil testing requirements relax. So soil evaluations cannot be required unless there's a valid health/safety reason. Property owners can obviously still request one though, which again just helps with lower upfront costs for sellers and builders, faster approvals in most cases, and buyers. Buyers may still want inspections for their protection, but again, just helping relax some of those. I guess that's kind of a lot of it. Again, it just looks to reduce a lot of the issues that we run into and a lot of homeowners run into, and putting people in a position where, they maybe can't afford to, again, replace a whole system, or, hey, a whole new system, $25,000, but to upgrade is only $2,500.
Right.
That's obviously a huge difference.
It still makes it compliant, makes it safe, I'm sure. So.
Yep. So just something to, especially in our industry, because I know obviously we're out here in the middle of nowhere. We sell a lot of county properties or country properties, so just something to keep an eye on, and hopefully, I think it would be a good thing. So.
Yeah, I doubt there's many septic systems in Pink's neighborhood in New York, probably. I can't imagine.
Shuby's had a lot of septic proproperties.
Yeah, those agents don't know nothing about septic systems.
Right.
You call us about that.
That's right.
So. Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad to hear that. That'll hopefully help a lot. Yeah, because some of those deals where it's like the septic system's like half the price of the house.
Yeah,
like, okay, that doesn't
right.
make any sense. Like,
Yeah.
okay, they need a $30,000 septic system for a $70,000 house. So.
Or that can be the difference between
1,000%.
a seller like coming out even just breaking even, and then them losing
owing
money on the
Yeah.
sale. Oh, yeah.
Or can't afford to move at all now and has to stay and now has to deal with that.
Yeah, because they were going to take that $30,000 and put it into their down payment on their next
Yeah, no
place,
point in
and
even selling that,
now,
yeah.
well, I'm just going to stay here then.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you can't get it done. The buyer or seller doesn't have the money to do it prior to closing, and you have to worry about
Or time.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you've got
if
the
middle of winter
domino
you can't
thing,
do it,
yeah.
like then you're escrowing money. So yeah, that's a lot.
Blah.
Ugh. All right. I was about to curse. I was gonna make a funny joke, but I won't. So. All right, I got a quick trivia here then. So I'm into the hottest and coldest housing markets 2026, but we got to bring it to Ohio. So Realtor.com came out with the 2026 top housing markets out of 100 largest metros. So this is United States wide, top 100. And Ohio had 2, 4, 6 of those. So I want you guys to guess which one was the top out of
Columbus.
Yeah,
Okay,
Columbus.
so now hold on. Here's your options here: Akron, Dayton, Toledo, Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati.
Columbus.
Yeah.
Okay, Columbus was the 5th one down.
No way.
What even close? Not even close.
Is it
Cincinnati?
like Cincinnati. Yeah.
Okay,
Like
Cincinnati is the bottom of this list.
crap.
It's like
Cleveland.
the worst
Cleveland
one.
is the 3rd
Jesus
Wait,
worst
wait.
one. So that leaves
Toledo.
That leaves Dayton, Akron,
Oh,
Toledo.
Dayton, Akron, Toledo.
you're telling me
This is
Probably-
national.
Probably like Dayton or Toledo, just because
Okay.
of the price of properties have dropped, so more people are buying into it. What was the title of this?
My
question?
thought behind it was
Hottest zip code?
Top housing markets out of 100 largest metros.
I could see Dayton because then you're still within driving distance of Columbus and
And
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Still wrong.
I still think
So
it's the
Akron?
cheapest price point.
Still wrong. It's Toledo.
Toledo.
Toledo, Ohio, by a mile, is one of the top, number 4 in the nation as
Yeah.
far as for top
Because their
housing.
properties are like
It's
dilapidated and ready for
pricing comes at that
Yep.
then too. So combined, Akron, Dayton, Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati don't even touch Toledo combined. You put them all together. So Toledo's by far. I don't know what 1, 2,
exactly.
and 3 was.
What are
I
they
didn't pull the
going
whole
for?
thing.
Like, what is the like?
So we'll go.
Like
I'll circle back to this here.
listings,
I
like,
got other
what are we-
questions here then too. So part of this all bundles into it. So what's the average age? Where did my question go here?
Okay.
So National Association of Realtors released the annual buyer profile. Median age of first-time home buyers in the U.S. hit a record high.
46.
33.
37.
40 years old is that. And then the move-up buyer. Then so you go from first home to second home. What is the age of that?
56.
Close.
60.
52. 52 years old then. So
52.
first time home buyers, you're 40. Second, like I guess move up would be 52. So going into the Toledo, they consider that kind of the cliche name, I guess they call it a refugee market. So going into pricing of the home. So what is the pricing of a home?
And job. You can get a job there and afford the housing.
Yep. So there's a lot of jobs with that. So then the average age of the home plays into it then too. So the hottest housing markets in the country right now, there's one thing in common is how old are the homes. They're going for older homes versus newer homes. So what is the median year homes were built in the U.S. and that is selling? So homes that are selling, what's like the middle number?
The year they were built or how old they are?
Year they were built. Either way, but we're going with year.
Oh my God,
1900, 1910.
Yeah, I feel like 1900 is like the most popular.
I don't know. It's 1925.
You should be as close. 1981.
Oh, 81?
They're considering them old. It's 1980. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. You're looking at our market. That's nothing.
That,
but hey, we were just talking about that over the weekend about the quality of homes and when kind of is the best time because like, you know, people were still a lot of DIYers, home building on their own, like in the 40s, 50s. And then you get like too close to more modern stuff. You got like problems with cheap home building and all that
more
sweet spot,
stuff.
like the 80s and 90s where everything was like solid oak wood. Everything was like precision and, you know, angles and everything was good quality.
Good craftsmanship.
Yeah.
Okay, so going into the hottest and coldest market, so we'll get back. So Toledo's way up there. So if I was going to live in, what would you consider hotter? Boston or Houston, Texas?
Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
I would say Texas because it's hot
Boston.
right now.
Okay, and then if you're going to say
Boston,
yep.
why?
I'm going to explain here. Yes,
with emphasis.
This made no sense to me here. There's a lot of caveats to this. So Minneapolis, Minnesota, or Miami, Florida.
Minneapolis.
Yes. Okay, you got that one right.
We're just going with now. I'm just
we're going the other way.
We're
going with
don't think.
All the
Cold.
contrarian things then too. So, so we get into why that is here then. So, I got to show the map
Well,
here.
it's probably much less like oversaturated and driven by touristy pricing and yada yada.
Baltimore's so
vacationary.
expensive.
So these purple things are the hot markets, and so I guess for how many years was it? It was like the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt. Everybody's going there. They're building all the homes there. So you look at this now.
Everybody's going to be moving out west.
So all these colors these are low and these are high then, which is the exact opposite of what I was thinking then too. So
I don't believe it.
So the high scores what they mean are prices are high. Homes are selling for over asking price, and prices are going in that direction. They're not sitting on the market. So the caveat to that, so the percentage of homes that sold above asking price, this is in 25, homes that sold fast, average list to sale price ratio, and how many listings had price reductions. So these had fewer price reductions, sold higher and faster than these homes then as well. Part of the reason was too, they kind of an overbuild. Like there were so many people moving here, so many people, the demand was so high that the builders went nuts and just started building homes like crazy in here through the Sun Belt. I think Florida's got its own kind of things going on. I don't remember what that is.
Okay, so it says score based on price growth, sales, asking, days on market, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. I feel like depending upon what data you pull, it would say the opposite, because I was looking again over the weekend and it was showing about the millions and billions of dollars that are moving and where they're moving to. And Florida had the most amount of wealth moving out of northern states to
there.
Florida, like 21 billion or something.
Specific markets, but there's these couple markets that are just getting crushed for some reason.
Yeah, and those are hurricane. I mean, look, Miami, Tampa, Jacksonville, those are hurricane, and those are erosion, and those are like houses insurance. Yeah. And then again, hurricanes down there, Houston, hurricanes. Yep.
So, I don't know if it's an overall thing. I know they talked about interest rates then, too, just with everything going on currently. Yeah. Rates are, I don't even know what they are right now. I pulled it up.
Natural disasters, weather.
They were like 6.37.
Yeah, 6.44 on average, I guess, for a 30-year fixed, which they dipped below 6 for a minute and went right back up. So that's definitely hurting people's buying power then as well. So, so nationally, home prices are down 8.3% year over year. Home growth, I guess the growth in prices is only up 1.1%. But again, even with it being down that much, it's still, the prices are still continuing to go up.
They are.
How that tied back into Toledo, how's that go to our little market then? So Toledo's median sales price, and again, this seems extremely low to me. It was $129,000, which is less than our sales price then,
but
too.
they're like some $13,000 turds that are just ready to be torn down.
That's probably a big part of it then too. So yeah, again, they reference it being a refugee market. So again, Ohio's rankings, Toledo came in first, but the affordability was a big driving factor with that. So again, you go to Columbus.
And there's jobs.
Yeah, Columbus, Cincinnati, those, I think the starter price, I lost my note here, but it was like $450. Here we go. No, 400. It was like close to 400 with one of these bigger markets. So even though it's way up there on the list, you can go buy a starter home for $150,000 in our neck of the woods versus you go there and it's $400,000. That's a big swing. So apparently the coasts are hot again. I don't know. Us, unless you're close to Toledo, which we're right in Toledo's backyard. So, and we're actually, I think, more affordable. And 1981 homes are just, they're baby homes to us. I mean, we're 1800 homes. We got that covered in spades. We got the character. We got everything there. So,
well, that surprises me for Toledo area because I picture like Victorian Tudor style homes up there.
I mean, there are some
like some of those ones in Fremont, that have the
magnificent neighborhoods in Toledo.
Awesome.
Yeah, very old things that are very well kept, and there's a lot of new housing developments. It's like gated community within gated community within. Like we have friends at the cheer thing. They live in like the triple layer of the fences, and like you go to their house, and it's like, I think I'm gonna get arrested even getting back. Like I don't belong back here. Why am I here? So it's like triple gated to get there. So yeah, I think
you need like a special key card, scan your
something.
eyes.
Yeah, they shouldn't have let me back there. All right, well. I guess if you're moving to Manhattan, call us. If you're living in Tiffin, Ohio, we'd love to help you then. We got the good pricing. We got everything else. So, but yeah, that really shocked me. Toledo being, I saw that list. I'm like, there ain't no way. I'm like, how is that?
I know. Like, what are they going on?
Because we're all Columbus, Dublin, all that is just blowing up. But so. All right, that is episode 82, I think, right? Yeah. So check on back 83 here. Give us your questions, comments. We'd love to hear from you here, and we will see you next time.
Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Unlimited podcast. My name is Sierra Steinmetz.
Brian Schuby.
Carrie Steele.
Bill Jones.
And we're the Jones. Sorry.
I knew it was.
We're live. We're actually live. You got to keep going.
No,
you have to keep going.
I knew it was going to fuck up. I had this like feeling it was going to screw up.
I almost said my name again for some reason.
I'm still Sierra.
It's 420.
I'm still here.
and then it just like cuts to Snoop Dogg, and then we got a fog machine with fog rolling up.
Okay, let's.
All right, you're only Sierra one time.
Let's try this.
Okay.
Got to get the point across, Okay.